Welcome back to Wembley Stadium. Richard Skinner here. They've let me out. I'm backstage with a couple of well-known faces, Mel Smith and Griff Rhys Jones. Welcome along. Griff, what are you doing here today?
Well, yes. What are we doing here? I came to see Elvis, but of course I missed him.
Well, he was on for 5 minutes.
I know,
you blinked and...
I blinked and I missed him because I was standing back here watching the television with you lot, and I saw something happen in Austria down there, and that looked very interesting, but we'll see that later on.
What do you think, Mel, about the whole thing of this getting together, actually working as smoothly? Although it's chaos, it's smooth chaos.
Yeah, we were saying it's a bit like NASA actually getting in here. You know, I mean, we did feel a bit like the astronauts. You know, because it's marvellous. You sort of turn up at a place about 1.5 miles away, and there's various dormobiles. It's brilliantly organised. I mean, you really do expect it to be a bit of a disaster.
Do you think Bob is the only man who could have really got this whole thing together?
Well, he's got an address book with all the telephone numbers in, hasn't he? So I suppose he really is, yeah.
Well, what are you going to be doing here? Are you actually appearing on the stage?
Well, in fact, we split up about on Monday, especially so we could reform.
Excuse me. Sorry.
For this evening.
You're reforming this
evening?
evening?
Yeah, like everybody else, you know, like The Who and Led Zeppelin, so we thought it would be important to reform, so that's what we're doing this evening.
So maybe a surprise appearance, a reformation?
Yes. Maybe later on, just to sort of say hello to things.
What's your involvement in the actual cause of Live Aid?
Well, I mean, really, just this. I mean, as far as actually, of sort of giving ourselves.
Richard, I'll give you this money. This is very important.
Don't give it to me.
All right, okay.
Don't give it to me.
I'll give it to whoever, and everybody else should give money as well. And that's a very important thing.
Right.
So,
and
empty your pockets.
Now there is a bank, several high street banks which you can put money into, and I've got an account number, which I'll let people have later, and it's my own account, obviously. And what I'll do is I'll hang on to it for a while, and then we'll sort of push it through.
But anyway, people should put money in, shouldn't they? Of one kind or other. I think that is a very important thing.
One of the simplest ways. I have an address here: Live Aid National Gyro Bank, P.O. Box 200, Liverpool. That's one of the simplest ways. You can just post your money, your postal orders and cheques to that address. And there are loads of telephone numbers which we'll be telling you about later. So you're going to stay for the whole show?
Yes, I'm hoping to see the duet later on with Elton John and Dick James, I believe, are doing a duet. They're singing your song. Or my song. In fact, it's been retitled My Song.
Apart from Elvis Costello, he says, changing the subject, who else are you really looking forward to seeing?
Us, whenever we get on.
I think I'm looking forward to trying to do a joke in front of 70,000 people. I think probably what we're going to have to do...
Have you got a joke, Mel?
Well, yes, I have. I've got one joke, which is why I can't do it now, obviously, because I'm trying to keep it back for the 70. But I think doing a gag to 70,000 people is a bit tricky, so we ought to ask them to sort of... Each 100 people should get a representative, and then just get sort of 7,000.
I don't even know that it's time to do a joke. I think jokes aren't in it. We're just going to go on and say, here they are, Queen, later on.
All right. Now, what happens if they don't laugh and you do tell a joke and they don't laugh, right?
We just stand there and look very foolish, which is the way that we usually do, as far as I know.
They're all going to be facing in the opposite direction anyway, aren't they? I mean, between bands, everybody sort of sits down and moves around and basically sort of...
You said it, absolutely. Mel and Griff, thank you very much. A man winding us up, because on stage now, stand by, please, for Nick... Oh, we go back to Andy Kershaw. Wrong Kershaw. Andy, to you.
Ladies and gentlemen, could we have a very warm Wembley welcome, please, for Mel Smith and Griff Rhys Jones.
One, two. 1, 2. 1, 2. Great. Yeah, I know what follows 2. Constable, thank you very much.
This is our spare lead vocal mic.
Constable.
I'm sorry to interrupt, but we have had a bit of a complaint about the noise. From a woman in Belgium. So if you could just keep it vocal.
Ladies and gentlemen, obviously, boys and girls, we're enjoying the boogie-woogie music here today. But I would ask you to bear in mind that there are a lot of people, perhaps older people, in the area, who perhaps aren't up to date with the latest trends in modern music. Like status quo, for example. Anyway, it gives us enormous pleasure to introduce the next combo, who are... Her Majesty, Queen!